Welcome back to the Tales of the Whoniverse podcast. Hello and good evening. I am your host Matt, and welcome back. And also, hello, who's been filling in for me when I've not been available? It's sometimes co-host, sometimes main host, but tonight he's met co-hosting again. It's back to Aidan the Shetland Hoovian.
Hello, yes, I've been demoted once again. I'm sorry.
You're the better paycheck than I am.
Am I? Wait, we're getting paid. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
In the words of Kate Stewart, you're on the payroll.
Am I? First time hearing this.
Just kidding. Well, tonight, welcome back. So it's been a little while since we've done one of these, but firstly, it's a very exciting time. So the backlog is getting ready to go for editing. The Conrad interview is still on the list to do. We also have tonight, whenever this comes out, um, tomorrow is the penultimate podcast of the season because tonight it's about the genocide machine, not actual Doctor Who genocide involving time wars and space nuns and whatever.
Or
About
or tractites.
it's about the Daleks on a library gone the rats. Oh, sorry, I completely forgot I could do that. And also, yeah, so tonight we're back to the big finish line in readiness for the Legend of Ruby Sunday, which airs either tonight at midnight, obviously on BBC iPlayer and decided to put my teeth back in. Put my
Oh,
teeth back in and Disney Plus. Oh, let me do that bit again. So we're ready for the Empire. No. Sorry, one more time. We're waiting for the Legend of Ruby Sunday, which airs tonight on BBC iPlayer and Disney Plus. So if you're staying up late to watch it, great. If not, please avoid the spoilers. Because they basically said it's going to be a big episode tonight, and just stay off it until the episode airs. So
yeah. Just stay off Twitter, stay off YouTube, stay off the TikTok, and stay off the internet.
don't talk to your mother unless it's about food and such. Don't talk to your grandmother. Don't talk to. We meet as we go on because tonight is about the pepper pots. Yes, we're going to go back in time, written by special effects man and writer of the story, Mike Tucker, going back in time to the first Dalek story for the Seventh Doctor and Ace. So, firstly, before I get my opinions on the episode, we're going to open with Aidan on the return trip to Carcerat. How did you feel listening to this again, Aidan? Because you mentioned you listened to it before.
Yeah, because I remember, like, I think I tried to listen to it, like, maybe, like, 4 years ago. Keep in mind, this is like when I was starting out with Big Finish properly. Yeah, I couldn't really get through it at first. Then again, probably was because I had just like other things going on in my life at the time. But today I've had some time. I've actually sat down and listened to it, and it was actually better. Like as I went through it, it's like I thought, oh, this is actually not as like much. I don't know what the what I just used to describe it before was. It was like I was just kind of like thinking like, yeah, I should probably listen to this, but I've got other things to do. But but yeah, it was pretty decent. It's like I love the setting of like the story like on Car Sharat, like yeah, one of the biggest libraries in the universe, and not like a council library either.
Yes, it rivaled the Matrix of Gallifrey. Now, the casting was incredible. I think this is the first time you really get to hear someone and Ace in the control room. The first use, I think, of Big Finish of him with his umbrella because of the rainfall. I also think, yes, this is our debut of the wonderful Bev Taryn, who unfortunately has not appeared in Big Finish for years because this was her debut. I mean, what an achievement to be with the Seventh Doctor and Ace, the Daleks, in a story involving like the Time Lords had a bit of an interference with this planet, like helping with the defense shields. A slimy story in the background with the chief librarian, who basically Seven had a fallout with, which I think started the dark route for him at Big Finish. And also, I think for me, I think what I enjoyed the most about it's kind of a love story in the sense of Beth because of her love interest. That's part of the main story, even though he's no longer living, but the creatures kept using him. The Kasharatans. What else did I enjoy from the story? Oh yeah. I think for me, it's what I was to say. It's been a crime Bev's not been in Big Finish more because obviously her next appearance is with the Master. And then obviously she goes on to be friends with Bertie Summerfield. So if you're out there, Big Finish, we'd like you to bring Bev and a few others back, like the Big Talking Bird at some point. But that's another topic.
Yeah.
Um, for,
Yeah, because I
for
think
me,
you. Yeah, because I know you've missed. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but I think there's one key debut you might have missed.
yes,
Like a certain voice actor who started playing the Daleks here.
yes. I was getting on to him, so I was highlighting the highlights first.
Sorry. Yeah, I just thought that one should be
Now,
important.
can I say, at this point for Big Finish, you may have recognised a certain Dalek voice actor who's in hundreds of projects, but at this point of time, there was two of them. It was the wonderful Alistair Locke, who would go on to play Orak in the Blake 7 audios as the replacement for the original actor. But here, this was, I believe, the debut of Nicholas Briggs as the voice of the Daleks in any medium for the Pepper Pots, because I don't think he'd done them yet for the TV show recording wise, because chronologically,
Yeah,
I think this came first. But it's so interesting to hear the different voices because obviously we're so used to the range he does as the Daleks telly. You could sort of tell he was still early days with early Big Finish, like trying them
yeah,
out. But you could hear like the voice modulator was there, but it wasn't quite there. But him and Alistair
yeah,
were such a dynamic duo, and you just wonder like if Sontarans can appear in so many different forms and Cybermen, we need more of the Daleks again just to make that world feel a bit bigger. But over to you, Aiden, because they got more to say.
yeah. Because I was gonna mainly add like because I didn't love both of them as the Daleks, especially the beefy sounding special weapons Dalek that appeared in the story.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I was also remembering because I'm pretty sure like there's only four stories that Alistair Locke appeared as the Daleks, which was like just that loose like Dalek Empire quadrilogy, starting with the Genocide Machine, the Apocalypse Element, the Mutant Phase, and then the Time of the Daleks.
I'm
Yeah,
sure he had a cameo in Six and Even One as the Emperor Dalek. It was either him or
yeah,
Briggs because it was the big gold one.
yeah. Because I remember, yeah, because I remember that same Emperor appears like throughout that quadrilogy, as well as having a brief cameo in Neverland.
That was the one I was thinking of. Sorry, Neverland. That was the cameo I was thinking of.
Yeah, yeah,
So let's go back to the library for a minute. For a small cast, it really stands out. Like the rainforest, learning that the Doctor had the greatest ally who turned out to be such a weasel who was horrible to the Kasharatans because he was like, oh, it's all about knowledge, you know. Knowledge is power, but
yeah,
not at the expense of losing your friends. But that guide that he had in the library. It was killing me with laughter. He had one or two lines of dialogue at the end of the story when he's like, "Oh, you
yeah,
always write the gossip, don't you? Oh, you know he likes to squeal like a pig." He wasn't even saying a word to his colleague until near the
yeah.
end.
Yeah, he was just like, ah, don't you like? And he's like about to say, and they're like, ah, you like.
Yeah, I think he's the reason why the truth didn't come out because he kept hushing him up, Elgran. Oh, sorry, oh, Eldoran. I was trying to remember how to pronounce because I did rehear it this earlier, but the chief librarian, him and Seven, when they got on so well, it was just such a shame how he turned out in the story.
Yeah,
And also, the Daleks. I like the fact this wasn't your usual first introduction with the Daleks, even though they're big and on a grand scale. But these were Daleks who were patient. They were prepared to station on hundreds of worlds to find a Time Lord to break them into that library, which It's fascinating because they don't normally do that. They normally just give up for a while, then come back. But the knowledge in that database must have been so big and so powerful for them that they just kept waiting and waiting until they could get their hands on the Time Lord. It was just coincidence for the Doctor to be involved with this incident.
Yeah. Yeah, like who knows? Maybe in another time it could have been the Master or just some random Time Lord that they got like to actually try and achieve this.
Yes. Now, what I was going to say, I don't know. So there are a lot of positives I do find with the store. I think it was the first time Sophie. I don't quote me unless I'm mistaken. I think this might be the first time she got to play a villain at Big Finish, playing a Dalek duplicate, which
Yeah.
actually really worked nicely because I know Sophie likes playing villains.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm asking is, what did you think of like that element of her doing both?
Yeah. Cause I kind of liked it. It's like, or at least because yeah. Cause what was I gonna say? Yeah. Cause I did like Sophie's performance as a duplicate because you kind of like tell that it was like not completely her, like, or not completely Ace, I should say. It's like, uh, and you can just tell it's like even like after like the ruse is up, then she still like is there like throughout the story, just acting like as a soldier for the Daleks, and it's just like you will come with us.
I love the bait switch though, where they basically the duplicate was already out of action for a little while, and then Ace literally was like, after we killed this woman, we're just gonna still keep up the ruse. So we're like, why are you still doing this? And she's like, oh, my voice broke.
Yes, and they're like, wait a minute, you are the original.
Yeah, I do really like it. I think for me that this is like the start of Big Finish really pushing Seven to the menace that he would one day become because of how snappy he was to the chief librarian. I think this is the first audio where they really push Seven to the limit before obviously the Hex arc. So you could kind of see the threads that they were already trying on the TV series starting here.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I got something in my throat there. Really regenerated.
And then that's all right. Last week I was Tom Baker. This week I'm John Pertwee. It's a lottery.
Oh yes.
Oh, good heavens, I'll
Oh
turn myself backwards on cast you lad. Hello, Chief Librarian.
yeah. Actually, I did have one question about the story because I remember like throughout the story they've mentioned like the Seventh Doctor going to the Carcerat before. Except not sure if
I
there's
just
been a
think he was a bit taller.
yeah. Except I'm guessing we don't. Because I'm pretty sure we don't find out like yeah. Because I don't think we end up finding out which incarnation went there unless it's been told in the short trip or something.
I have this feeling when they said taller, I could think scarf taller.
Yeah. Part of me was guessing either. I was gonna say maybe not three, but either four or six. One of the bakers.
Yeah, I think it'd definitely be Tom because Carcerat, I'd think he would have gone there on the first visit, but I'd think the one who helped set him up the defense grid was definitely Colin.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got to be six because he mentioned being there with the Time Lords and everything, and it sounds more like Solo 60.
Yeah.
But saying that, he knew he travelled with companions, so it could be many of them. It could be with Evelyn, it could be with Perry, it could be with Mel, it could be anyone.
Could be with Mila.
Could be the big talking bird.
Yeah. Speaking of which, when are we getting Frobisher back to Big Finish? Please.
Yeah, and that's what I like about it because early Big Finish, you didn't really need answers explained for things. It was more like, okay, previous Doctor went. But have they addressed it? No, because it's just a throwaway line. You don't need to guess every time. It's just nice to
Yeah,
speculate like which one it is.
yeah. Like who knows? Maybe it could have been one. She's like, this library is very good, dear boy.
See, with the first Doctor, I think him and the chief librarian would have got on, and that's what probably Seven felt disheartened to snap at him.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You
you know,
think,
you
oh,
feel, but it's like, oh, after your side.
yeah. I was gonna say, you just think like, oh, he sounds all right, and then you realize at the end of the story, oh my god, what a horrible being.
Do you know, I think this to me, this is what sold me for Darker Seven, is if you let him off the leash when his companions aren't there, this is literally the route they were trying to start taking him into on the telly.
Yeah, like which started off in like season 26, and then we never got more of on TV.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. I like the fact that because I could have been right, or they probably don't want to write him, but I like the fact that they kept out of it Seven having his Sonic back.
Yeah, because I know. Yeah, because I know I can't don't know what story exactly he gets it back in. Because I think it's like different sources. Because I know the VNAs say it's like the pit that he gets it back.
All I meant like audio was I have a feeling the settling might be the one where it first appeared for him on audio, but if that's the case, then I like the fact that Seven on audio, it's a treat when you hear him with a Sonic.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's around that same time that the TARDIS starts to like become like the TV movie interior as well.
Oh yeah, because they had a massive spring clean in that one, and they started turning it into it.
Yeah, that's when we got the
But
best TARDIS interior.
yes, I think they started on that one to clean it, and then by the time of Excellus, he'd finished building the Gothic castle.
Yeah, it's like yeah, and as I said, best TARDIS interior. This has been controversial opinions with Aiden. Thank you for watching.
So, in
uh,
terms of Daleks' command stories, I think if you're not fond of them on the telly side, but you think they're a bit basic and boring, I think this does exactly the name on the tin. You learn about the genocide machine, which basically is the whole plot thread hiding under your nose. You learn the
yeah,
Doctor had a previous unseen adventure or unheard of. You get more about Ace and like Bev's friendship, which that's the one thing I really wish Big Finish would have explored more past dust breeding because they got on
yeah,
so well together like a house on fire.
yeah. 'Cause I'm pretty sure like Bev did end up later on appearing in some like Bernie Summerfield stories,
Yes,
which
as I mentioned earlier, they became friends them too.
yeah, it's like which that reminds me. Like, honestly, if I had the Bernie Summerfield range to my to listen list, yeah, my list is going to reach Glasgow by this point.
Yeah, okay, because of the amount of times her range has been so reimagined.
Yeah, there's just so
But
many
no,
stories to listen to, so little time.
oh yes. And as for, as I said, the genocide machine, what else do I like about? I like the fact that Seven thought he was dead because his body appeared in the water. And he's like, oh, is this over? And like, no, you're on the brink of death. And I was like, oh, they said the line years
Yeah,
before the audio.
yeah. I know it's like yeah, because I know it's like obviously he's not dead. Like he's got like probably like years to go till he goes to San Francisco.
Yeah. But I just like the fact that in this story, it's it's a bit new hooey, isn't it? Before new who, like it's really
Yeah,
fast, it's action paced, and there's romance between characters in there, between Bev and her lover. So it's funny
yeah,
how they kept saying Seven and Eight on the basis for modern Who, and this kind of story is exactly what you're getting out of it for them.
yeah,
Also, I gotta say, even though they didn't really get much Dalek time, each Dalek that appeared, it's like there was scene stealers, like um the special weapons Dalek when he literally had Ace locked up as his prisoner, like extending the whole flicking plan. It was so funny.
yeah. And like people thought that the Magician's Apprentice or the Witch's Familiar was the first time it spoke. Nope. This story beats it by about 15 years.
Yes, and obviously you have the Dalek Supreme, the Emperor Dalek, and the normal Daleks, but it just made the world feel a lot bigger on Carcerat. And I wonder if Mike Tucker purposely picked a jungle because obviously the Daleks were on Spyridon, they were on Kemble. So it makes you wonder, like, if he did it because Daleks hadn't for years appeared in like jungle scenarios.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna say, Aidan, to you, do you have any dislikes of the audio?
Um. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'll let you go first though. Like just while I try and think of one off the top of my head.
In terms of the story itself, I just don't think I don't have any dislikes for the story. It's one of those that's a welcome package to Big Finish. I find it's not too hard on an arc because there is no arc. It's four straightforward parts that just get straight to the point. I think it delivers in the title. I don't think it's the greatest story that Big Finish has ever produced, but
Yeah.
I do think it's one of the funnest stories if you're coming new into Big Finish, and it's easy going to listen to.
Yeah. It's like that. Yeah. It's definitely like you said. It's like not the best story out there, but it is a good Dalek story that will actually leave you satisfied with it by the end.
Would I recommend it as a starter package for Big Finish? Absolutely, because you could just dive in and you're not feeling overwhelmed with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, as I said earlier, because it was also like the start of like a loose arc, like known as it's like known as the Dalek Empire quadrilogy. Like it's just like
Yeah.
loose arc in the monthly range that I'm not sure it ties in with anything to do with like Big Finish's Dalek Empire range.
Well, it's supposed to, but I don't know when they slot it because it's never really been stated. Because part one's the mutant phase, part two the apocalypse element, part three is this, and part four's Time of the Daleks.
Yeah, yeah. Because on the CDs they list it as like like I think the parts are in release order, but like chronologically for the Doctor, yes, that order.
Yeah. Oh, I completely forgot it's in the order that you said it was because it's been ages
Yeah,
since.
like the release order, like Genocide Machine, Apocalypse Element, Mutant Phase, Time of the Daleks.
Well, what they should do is like whenever Dalek Empire gets another series, when not confirmational, is
Yeah,
if they do
or
it,
if.
they yeah they do a chronological update to stop those stories in because obviously Return of the Daleks is part of it, and I don't know where that's slotted in.
Yeah, I think where it's slotted in, who knows?
Hmm. So I think we're kind of done on the Genocide Machine, which is going another fast audio release here. But what I would say before we wrap up is, yeah, it's a great story. It's like if you're new to Big Finish and you're a bit like, where do I begin without the backlog? I'd say this is one of the. I wouldn't personally do it as my first start of a Big Finish because I had Master. But if you're
Yeah,
coming new to it, I would recommend. I think anything early days like Mutant Phase, things like Dust Breeding, things like the early stuff. There are some rocky roads, but you will get there in the end.
yeah. Like I mean, there is one particularly rocky bit of road that I will not mention here, but hey, we'll get onto that when we get onto that.
Is this something to do with an arc with a trio and it's a cricketing jumper?
Yeah, we won't. Yeah, it's like I'll leave it at that because I don't want to get into that story. I don't want to think about it.
Oh, I see. I thought it was the off-screen van one, Memory Lane.
No, no, it's not that. No, it's not that one. It's a
I,
yeah. Plus, wrong trio.
But the funniest thing with that one is when I still stand by sorry, no, let me get my words to you. I still stand by to this day. The funniest lines from that one is the Eighth Doctor saying, I should use my Time Lord powers of looking out of the window. And it's like, what is this?
Yeah, you must have imagined like Charlie and Kaz at the time must be like, what on earth are you saying? Like,
Yeah, because he
gets
says
the heck out of me.
sarcastic towards them.
Yeah, makes you wonder like what must have been like during the recording studio that day.
Yes, so what I'm going to suggest for future for Big Finish is as well. So when we do the next Big Finish reviews, we're going to start really rotating different doctors. So it's not just about me listening to it; it's also about giving Aidan the chance to come on to listen to others. So there won't be all
Yeah.
arcs because we don't want to burn people out. Because I don't want to start off on the new Fifth Doctor, Nissa, Tegan, and Eternal one because you have to do that all into blocks, and it's just finding the time for something like that. But if we did do
Yeah,
arc, it'd be something as straightforward as Syndicate Master Plan.
yeah. I mean, then again, I think that's how I do a lot of the arcs, like in blocks, or especially recently, because I know because recently I've been going through like I nearly finished the Hex arc, and same with Lucy, so I've been like splitting it up between them. So like I do a few stories with like 7, Ace, and Hex, and then a little bit of like 8 and Lucy, and then swap over.
Yeah.
I still
So
can't
what
believe
we're
I'm nearly
recommending?
done with them though.
Oh yeah. Because obviously for you, though you're a big Eighth Doctor fan, you never really got round to the Sheridan era with Paul.
Yeah, because I know there I've just finished like World Wide Web with, and I'm just about to do Death in Blackpool, which I've heard is really good. So my expectations, I'm hoping they'll be met.
Firstly, I'm so glad you finished that two-parter because that to me that was one of my strongest finales from a very iffy
Yeah,
series.
yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it as well. Like it wasn't a bad season. It was kind of like parts of it just kind of felt, eh.
Choices were
Yeah,
made.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. It's like some choices were made, like not bad choices, some possibly not good choices either. Just choices were made.
I wonder who thought at the time we're going to present a script called Scapegoat, and then you shred the cover for it and think, "Do not laugh, do not laugh, do not laugh."
I was like, oh my god, there's goat people.
I think the funny for me was when Miriam Margolyes got up as everybody said, I've never done a Doctor Who, and then there she is with Sheridan and Paul.
Yeah, but not as the meep.
It's like Benedict Cumberbatch has always said, I've never done anything Doctor Who. Then you see 45 with Sylvester and Sophie, like, come on, Benedict. It was around that time you got Sherlock. You did it with them.
Yeah, yeah. Next thing you know, like Mary Margulies was back. Oh, to hell with this!
Oh, dear.
I was like, Exhibit D, a copy of the Beast of Orlok.
Well, I completely derailed.
Yeah, like this has been Impressions with Aiden. Like, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes. So lastly, what we're going to suggest is I wanted to Big Finish. If we wanted us to also do an introductory like podcast to Big Finish, happy to do that. So if you want to listen to two or more people ramble about how important Big Finish is to Doctor, happy to do recommendations, happy to do audios because each Doctor is valid for Big Finish. But
Yes.
I find for me, the Fourth Doctor I've become really fond of more as time's gone on because of Big Finish. I know I've heard people say that I was hit and miss for him, but it just depends on the story. It goes with every Doctor. That's TV, audio, and we're happy to recommend you any stories, especially the wonderful, and it appeared at the trailer at the end of the Genocide Machine. If you caught the coming soon with the late Maggie Stables, her debut in the Marianne Conspiracy.
Yes.
So we're happy to re-review the Marianne Conspiracy because obviously when we first did it with the channel, we had a bit more members.
Yeah.
But if we're going to do it in-house, we're going to happily redo some reviews and get some backlog out of there as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, So I'm just going to say for tonight, thank you for joining again on the Tales of the Whoniverse podcast. I nearly said the old podcast because obviously that came straight from my.
It's all right, Matt. I've nearly done it sometimes before.
Of course. And so from Aidan and myself, I just wanted to say thank you so much. And firstly, it's good night from me and good night,
And
everyone.
good night for me. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Tales of the Whoniverse YouTube channel. And one more thing. Yes, Queen, slay.
Sorry, I just couldn't stop laughing, but
that's that's right. It's just an iconic thing to do.
yes, right. So for anybody who's watching, I've been Matt. That's an agent. We will be back chronologically tomorrow in a different time zone with more people to review The Legend of Ruby Sunday, and then afterwards we will also be getting ready for next week, which is the big finale in the Empire of Death. And then we're
Yes,
going to
Empire Death, the TV episode, not the past Doctor Adventure novel.
and take care, everyone. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Hello, this is Kerries, and you've been listening to the Tales of the Whoniverse podcast.